OD.
All right, these guys are obsessed with their lettuce right now, but welcome back to the program. Welcome back. Welcome back. We officially are in finals season. Sorry for not getting a preview out there if you guys were looking for it, but we've been busy. Finn had a little trip. Finn is working a new job now. I finished school. I'm working my butt off. Slim is locking us down some interviews. Coming soon.
Yeah, I got some big stuff on the way here.
Coming soon. But it is the NBA Finals. We have a 1-1 series. Let's just get right into it. I think, first of all, I could go on a spiel about my most recent bet, but I'm not going to. I'm going to start with because we're going to start with the basketball first, and then we'll get into the superlatives. I don't even know if I use that word right, but it's a cool word for sure.
Low probability that word was used right.
Yeah, but game 1, Nuggets basically dominated the whole game. The final score was closer than it seemed. I thought overall the Nuggets just came out and played better from jump. I thought the Heat made it close a couple times, but they answered every run. Jokic had a triple-double. Jamal Murray was great. Michael Porter didn't have the best shooting night, but he played really well on rebounding, had 2 blocks. And Jimmy Butler wasn't that great. Bam had a good box score game, but if you look deeper into the box score, he had 26 points on 25 shots. So take what you want with that. Personally, I thought he played well, but not as good as everyone was saying. I thought he had a lot better of a game too, but game 1 specifically, I thought the Nuggets executed their game plan really, really well. And I think the Heat, especially for like a coach like Spoelstra, game 1's you come out with something and you see if it works, and if it doesn't, you make an adjustment for game 2, which they did. But game 1, credit to the Nuggets, they played really, really well. If you guys want to have any comments on game 1 specifically, and then we'll talk more about game 2 because I thought that was a way better game.
Because we're about to bring it down. Slim, why don't you start us
off? Game 1, I think I'll agree with you, Finn. Matt. I think Bam did play a better game too, but I was surprised the way that he came out aggressive in game 1. You know, I think that he did the best of his ability to produce as much as he did against a 2-time MVP, because Joker's just that guy. Even on defense, his presence is a little bit, kind of intimidating with his stature, just because he's a whack body. Like I said, I've used that term, no diss, but I noticed that Bam gets to that free throw line, and then he waits out to try and kick out to the 3-pointer, try to kick out to the perimeter by the time he gets to the free throw, instead of, being a little bit more aggressive and trying to go in on Joker to the paint. And I think that it was a hell of a game 1, and Jamal Murray, just being the did we call him the most underrated player in the league?
A while ago, yeah. A while ago we did.
I think Denver has a squad, and game 2 is something serious. Finn, what you got to say?
So they played more man in game 1, no, Matt?
The Heat, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
They barely kind of flashed that zone, right? I think they played it for like maybe 1 or 2 possessions in the first, second, and third quarter, and they played it a lot in the fourth quarter. I was waiting for it to come out personally. I know, obviously, you're not going to stop Jokic no matter what you do. Playing him straight up and down man or playing him in his zone doesn't really matter. You could see last night they started to kind of work into like fronting him, and they were running that 2-3, which is kind of like a lightweight 1-3-1 or 1-3-1.
You're right.
And they're just fronting that entry pass, which was fucking killing them in game 1, because whenever they'd run that zone, they'd put that entry pass in, and it would either get popped right to the wing because the guy on the block would have to drop down, or it would get dumped down to like a backdoor cut. That was fucking killing them. Bam took it personally game 2. He was guarding Jokic more straight up. That's a good segue for you, Matt, to start talking about game 2. Game 1, I feel like they just needed to make some adjustments, but they weren't too rushed. I didn't feel like they were stressed or anything.
No.
They were just kind of feeling it out.
Yeah, I mean, for game 1 specifically, I think I'll compare it more to game 2 later, but game 1, Jokic was the point forward and was actually making all the passes, all that kind of stuff. And I think Jamal Murray had a really, really good, solid game. Like, he only ended, I think, with 27 or 25 or something. But the way he played, the timely shots, execution of everything. He played really, really well, and I think that was the biggest reason. And then segueing into game 2, and we'll talk more about this game because there's a lot more to talk about, I think. But for game 2, I think Jokic was too aggressive. Call me crazy. I think the Nuggets are at
– that was the scheme.
I know, but it doesn't matter. You have to beat the scheme. And I think there was – because I had bets on players on the Nuggets to hit threes or something like that. And there was multiple opportunities where Jokic was driving and then a late help came and you could have passed it out where he didn't. Don't get me wrong, Jokic played a solid game. But I think for the Nuggets to be successful, he has to be more of a facilitator than he was in game 2. I think the Heat did a really good job on Jamal Murray, putting a bigger body and Jimmy Butler on him as his primary defender. And I think
he was MIA.
Who? Jamal Murray?
Yeah,
he didn't have a great game. And I think the biggest reason for that is because of 1, the zone, and 2, having Jimmy Butler primarily be guarding him.
Playing the pick and roll. Him and Bam were handling that pick and roll together.
Yeah.
That way, with the 2 best defenders on the floor, when they're eating that shit up, like those free threes to MPJ or like those free threes to like a Bruce Brown in the corner, RIP Bruce Brown, I know how that feels. Those go away because the weaker defenders don't have to help. Like when your 2 best defenders are playing. This is kind of what I was trying to get at with the AD thing last series. It didn't end up working out that way. But like when your 2 best players are playing their 2 best players like that, it doesn't require as much help from other players. So those open threes that the Nuggets have been getting, like they were getting a fuck ton against the Lakers, they're nada.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go quick, but I just think I think the Heat game plan was really good in making Jokic be that aggressor, but I think there was definitely times where, like, I saw someone tweet, I think it was Shannon Sharp maybe, and it was like Jokic just not passing because no one else on the team is making shots. Yes, Michael Porter did shoot well, but no one else really.
There were no looks.
There was no one gave them a look to make a shot. Like there was multiple times where he could have given them a look. I mean, don't get me wrong, he did have a 6-foot floater / layup kind of thing every time, but I think in order for the team to be successful, the Nuggets play better when Jokic gets those 10 assists that we're accustomed to getting, especially in this playoff run, where everyone is involved. I think that's what's most important.
I forget where I saw the tweet, but you saying that little 8-foot push shot has reminded me of it. I read a tweet today that Spo was making them as in i.e. Jamal Murray and Jokic, score up top. Whether you're going to shoot over him, you're going to do that push shot over him, you're going to back someone down, you're going to isolate. Like the only way you're scoring is you're going to score up top, and that's like 90% of your possessions. We're going to try and get you to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I think
they're just forcing them to put shots up, like how you said Jokic needs to pass more to win game 3. Yeah, but the whole scheme, like obviously you're saying play against the scheme. The whole scheme was to make him a scorer only.
And I think, the Nuggets also primarily operate either with pick and roll between Jamal Murray and Jokic, dribble handoffs on the perimeter between guard to guard, or even sometimes Jokic. And the third one is they throw it into Jokic in the middle. And so with the Heat, what they did was they would run a 2-3, but they would shift into a 1-3-1 because it's a matchup zone, which has man principles to it, but it's a zone. So I did this in high school, so I know kind of what it is. Obviously not to this level, but if you're running a 2-3 matchup zone, if you're running a 2-3 matchup zone, the guy someone's guarding the ball and the other guy on the wing is fronting the post, and then you have the guy in the middle backing.
That's what I was saying earlier, so they had to start doing.
So the Nuggets, the third way they operate is when they throw it into Jokic in the middle, and that's how he gets a lot of his assists. But now with this zone that they're being played with the front, it's hard to get that ball into the middle. But when they did get it to the middle, Jokic would just go. And yes, they're great looks, and I'm not mad at him for taking them. But I just think for the team to be successful and for the guys to consistently make shots, you can go and take a dribble, pump fake, and collapse, and then you kick it out. That's just me. Because they're not flaring off to shooters when he gets it.
I think that
3's worth more than 2, bro.
I'm telling you. I think I wanna acknowledge, first of all, like I continue to mention the altitude. Anybody that is visiting Denver goes to play. And I think that game one, that kind of put a little bit more pressure on Miami to like you said, Matt, like show up throughout the game, kind of closing the gap, but still ended up not being able to execute to where they take the lead. And I think that they were able to make that adjustment just because they had some time to get accommodated with the altitude and what it's like to play on that level at that level. And I think because of that, that gave them that boost offensively. When you have an aggressive Bam, when you have an aggressive Jimmy Butler, and shout out Haywood Highsmith. I think that he's playing great ball defensively, to lead into transition when you got spark shooters like Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin. When your offense is generating that well of shooting, that puts your defense on the heels to where it's like once it's their time in transition, it kind of puts them in an uncomfortable position facing that zone. You know what I'm saying? When you have Jimmy Butler closing out on Jamal Murray quicker, so that Joker can't really get it to him fast enough so where that he can get a comfortable shot off that you were used to in game one. And I think that with that being said, I think that that's why Mike Malone was like, okay, well, if Michael Porter Jr. is not really hitting any shots, I think that, and Jamal Murray can't get open, can't get a comfortable shot, give it to Joker because we know that he can score. And I think the difference between Joker and any other superstar, Joker can give you 40, but his impact on the game comes from him being able to facilitate for his team. And I think that was Spoelstra's whole scheme, is to shut him off from being able to facilitate for his team, to allow everybody to catch that rhythm like Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Christian Brown played a hell of a game. Shout out to the rookie. You know what I'm saying? We big underdog cats. We pay attention to the young cats. We know what the grind is like. Christian Brown played a hell of a game in his first 6 minutes. He had like maybe 8 points, 2 steals, a couple rebounds. He was playing well. Yeah, he was playing great ball. But when you have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope fouling at the 3-point line, and then you have spark shooters like Gabe Vincent, like that's something that you cannot allow.
Yeah.
Go ahead. He's getting a bag this summer.
Yeah. The Heat will pay him though.
Matt, I had 2 questions for you.
Okay.
One, did you notice, I didn't look into it, so I could be wrong, I feel like there was less action with KCP. I feel like he had the ball in his hands a little bit more game one, and Slim, you too. And even like a Bruce Brown or like
Bruce Brown played
Michael Porter Jr. even with Jokic. Honestly, I'll take Michael Porter Jr. Neither of them, I feel like, really got any touches. Is there any way for you to look that up real quick, supercomputer?
Yeah, well, I think just my personal feel, like without looking at the numbers, I would say, first of all, the Bruce Brown thing, I think, one, he didn't get as many touches just because.
I meant to say Michael Porter Jr.
Oh, okay. Well, Michael Porter Jr., I don't think he got as many.
And then KCP handling the ball in an either dribble handoff or at a ball screen.
They didn't, because if you want, we can get into my bet, but I had KCP to score 15. Obviously, it was
that's what I'm saying. That's important. That's huge.
Yeah, so I'm screaming at the TV the whole night. I had parlayed Strus and KCP to each score 15. Strus had 12 in the first 4 minutes and still didn't get to 15. Ended with 14. But they definitely were not involved in the handoffs as much. And I think that. But yes, for sure. But it was I think it's on Jokic for not passing it out. And I think the best looks the Nuggets get is when Jokic gets it in the middle and he kicks it out. Then someone runs a dribble handoff, and then if it's open, they go and score, or kick it back out to this fade guy, and then or they throw it back to Jokic, or it's a pick and roll. That's where the Nuggets get a lot of their stuff. 100%. And I think they didn't run enough of it, and I think the zone was kind of screwed them a little bit in that way, because in a dribble handoff, it doesn't really work in a zone because you have the help defender right in the middle. So unless you're going to do it to the outside, you still have that help defender coming over and everyone just slides. So it's a tough thing to deal with. But I don't know. Let me look at the numbers real quick.
I think
control the switches. That's it.
What'd you say, Finn?
They just got to control the switches.
Oh, 100. And I think Spo took advantage of that. I think he recognized the gambit. I think because, like you said, Matt, Joker, he does the back down to the elbow, and then usually Jamal Murray's right there because they know who. Like Bam can't contain Joker. Nobody on Miami can contain Joker by themselves. So when they are running that zone, they were like, all right, we're not gonna do that anymore. We'd rather
Let
Joker
Bam
get
go.
those 2 points off, right? And then we come back on the other end and just light them up from 3. You know what I'm saying?
3 is
and,
2.
And I think that so they was like, okay, Joker can have 40, and then the Nuggets have an opportunity to lose, but we can't allow him to have 30, 14, and 12 just because like then that's when we end up losing the game. And I think they took advantage of that.
Yeah, Michael Porter Jr. played 26 minutes. KCP played 36, but KCP had 4 shot attempts. Michael Porter Jr. had 8.
One more thing for you, Matt, before we move on.
Okay.
How are your Kevin Love touches last night? Plus 23.
Good.
That's your guy.
There was something he did something, and I was like, oh, I do not miss that though. He missed he had like a 3 rebound sequence where he kept missing layups or something, and he did like a one hand like fading, try and tip it in. I was like,
I think that might be one of your guys.
Kevin Love, he's up there, but I want to talk about more Miami's defense or offense being good against Denver's defense. I saw JJ Redick talk about this today, but I thought it was important, so I want to reiterate it here.
Just missed that.
To start the fourth quarter, Duncan scored a quick 10 points, and that was what kind of propelled the Heat.
Rob's hype on that.
Huh?
Rob's hype on that.
Duncan?
Yeah.
But I think the way he scored the points is important because I obviously am not in the NBA, but JJ Redick was saying how in the NBA, a lot of coaches teach the relay action where you basically are setting like an off-ball screen, like a pin down. And so one guy, if the guy coming up off the screen curls, it's an auto switch every time. So to start the fourth, they ran that twice in a row, and they scored on it both times. Huh?
Get over.
You're supposed to switch it. What?
Keep it on.
But so they ran the pin down, and they're supposed to switch it, but they didn't switch it. The guy kept curling. Duncan curled and got a layup, and then or that might have been the second time. But in the 2 possessions, Duncan curled, got an and 1 layup. Then the second time the fader came off and hit the 3.
He pulled up.
So that was 5 points quickly on the same action that should be an auto switch. It was involving Christian Brown, which is it's not it's a young person mistake, so I can't really be mad at him for it. But I think in game 3, those are the kind of simple errors that you have to correct. And I think the Nuggets kind of beat themselves today because they weren't playing their game. Like if you watch the Nuggets all year, their games do not look like that. That was my kind of thinking. But
I just meant they got to get over that.
Get over what?
They were trying to get over it. They weren't switching it.
But you never learn to trail the curler. That's like number 1 rule.
Wrong.
What?
I'm saying it was wrong.
Oh, yeah.
They were trying to get over it.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah,
that's all I said.
Yeah, if someone's coming off a screen curling an off-ball screen, it's either an auto switch or you go under it.
Cut it off and get your hips in front of them.
Yeah, but and then also what's also important, kind of going back to my Jokic point, the Nuggets made their run with him off the court, and it was in the early second quarter when Christian Brown, Jeff Green,
they weren't schemed up for it.
I know, but still, I mean they couldn't miss, but
yeah. Well, dude, they just gotta keep cutting off that middle. Like everything thrives through the middle. It's like the heart.
But they made like 5 threes in a row without even hitting the net.
And they're in the NBA.
I'm saying, but like the Nuggets didn't shoot a ton of threes in comparison. Jokic wasn't kicking it out, and that was the only time they were driving and kicking the whole game.
What, are you gonna bench him?
No, I'm not saying bench Jokic.
I was just saying
he has to look to pass. From jump, he didn't look to pass. 3 of his assists came on backdoor lobs.
They stay dumping those down.
But that was all I really have to say.
Let's do a little game 3 look at it.
Yeah.
You want to start it up, Slim? We'll do some popcorn thoughts.
Yeah.
Sheesh, popcorn thoughts.
Like, if you have any adjustments you think the Nuggets should make, anything like that.
I got one.
I think
Matt kind of stole it though with that little beautiful breakdown.
I don't know. I like when Aaron Gordon cuts baseline. I like Joker's position being right there at the elbow. I think that our guys just have to be. I'm talking about the Nuggets, but I think the guys just have to be comfortable. Really heading down to Miami and maybe they'll. I think Mike would make the adjustment, seeing what's wrong. I think that we just got to be more.
What do you think they have to change? Because it's such an inch. Like,
I think our problem was coming from the offense, not being able to knock down consistent threes and not being able to catch up with Miami. Like I said, I think that when Miami runs that zone, or first of all, it starts with their offense having those spark shooters, and I didn't get to mention Max Strus, Duncan Robinson. They have their whole squad can shoot the ball. Even K Love can knock down a shot if you give him the ball. But I think that when you have a comfortable / aggressive offense within Miami, having Bam and Jimmy Butler be your foundation, and you have plenty of guys that can cut and curl and knock down the open three, I think that puts Denver on their heels. So once they come down to, running the offense in transition and Miami's running that zone, if they're hitting those threes, they're going to allow Joker to take the 1v1, but still continue to have everybody else switching if it comes down to moving the ball on the perimeter for Denver, just because they'll rather take a Joker 2 if that means him not facilitating for Jamal Murray, who is going to knock down a 3, which is going to allow him to get in rhythm, which is going to allow Michael Porter Jr., Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and the rest of the guys to really get in that rhythm from the perimeter to knock down those threes, to not only keep up with Miami shooting, but also take the lead. And that's something that Miami doesn't want. But I think Mike Malone just needs to figure out a scheme to – I don't know if he should move the Joker off the elbow, but I think that that's what makes them so dangerous. But I think that because Spo is recognizing, okay, we need to keep that 1v1 on that elbow with Joker. I think maybe if you put Joker on the perimeter and allow Aaron Gordon to run that pick and pop at the elbow, I guess. I think that would be a little bit more lethal to go into South Beach with.
Finn, I want to hear what you have to say.
Quick hitting stuff. Keep moving the ball. If they're going to show zone, switch back to man and show zone. Try and get out in transition where they can't get set up. If you're going to get out in transition, try and get switches on the way down. Grab somebody, bump them, and start running with them. Because those switches were where they were really eating in game 1. From Miami's point of view, I'd try and keep throwing random shit at him as much as you can. I like Jimmy. I like Bam guarding Jokic and Murray because, like I mentioned earlier, that takes away that help defender a little bit more so than somebody else getting bullied like Kyle Lowry, etc. I think those are 2 major keys. But I think dead ass though, Matt, you could let me know what you think about this, but I think that transition thing is fucking huge. If they're going to be getting so many half-court stops and your half-court offense is going to be getting slowed down, try and grab somebody, bump them, and get them set up in transition where they can't get in that zone or can't get in that man, and just try and get something quick. Throw it down to the post or get a quick pick and roll or something.
Yeah, I think the issue with that is that Miami doesn't really turn it over like that. Like they
Even
don't
off a miss.
I know, but they don't. I'm just talking strict turnovers, like fast break points. The Nuggets were turning it over a lot with like uncharacteristic turnovers last game. So the fast break battle was largely won by the Heat, which was a big factor.
I might more so mean just push the pace.
Yeah, I think for the Nuggets, you're saying push the pace.
Yeah, get them on.
Yeah, I agree.
get it switched. Like, don't let them set you up like that and walk you down because they're looking to slow you down like that. That's what they've got drawn up. You just get them down, run them down, get a switch or two, and then run like a quick pick and roll or like a quick flare action or some kind of back screen or something.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my adjustment, if I'm the Nuggets, is that I'm running a lot more off ball action, first of all, to as Jokic is making that catch, the other side, the weak side, should be doing a pin down screen, or
Right.
you can even do the pin down and then the guy slips or something. But
In the zone?
in this against the zone, sure.
Okay.
I think you need to have a guy. You have a guy in the middle, and I think you need to have a guy cutting and coming out to the three. Because if you have a guy in the middle, especially if it's Jokic, if you're going to continue to keep him in the middle, which I think is important, but you don't have to. But if you keep him in the middle, he catches the ball. All eyes go to him, whether you like it or not. They're still going to stay home on their guys, and they're not, instead of being all like help shifting to help. But I think if you're going to have Jokic still catch the ball in the middle, you have to run because it's a 2-3. So you have the guy in the middle, Bam, guarding him, and you have the two guys on each side, like basically a box, so to speak. You have the guy inbounding it, throwing it to him, and on the strong side, and then the weak side, if you run a pin down, you can either set the screen, then the one guy's going to be in the back. You could, if he's coming up to help, and they're going to switch it, you slip it, you beat him in front of the face, and there's your alley-oop dunk. If you want that to be Aaron Gordon. But I think another way the Nuggets could attack the Heat in the zone specifically is if you have Jokic be the guy with the ball and you put someone else like Aaron Gordon in the middle. And then you can have Aaron Gordon drive. And I think one that puts the smaller defender on Aaron Gordon. And you see a lot of what we did in game one, where it was how Gabe Vincent or a Max Strus is guarding Aaron Gordon, where he can just bully him.
Switches.
Huh?
They were just getting those switches.
The Nuggets were?
Yeah.
But because that was going back to your transition point, they were running down and the Heat were being lazy.
Grabbing a body and going.
Yeah. So I'm saying if they're gonna want, if Kevin Love starts, he'll have to go against Kevin Love, which is tough in that short area. Kevin Love can defend that, but especially if you can get him at the free throw line and go from there, I think you can see a lot more things happen. Or even if you wanted to switch the roles, and you could, this is a little dicey, but you throw like a Jamal Murray in there, and if you can get him to the middle, and then you have Jokic.
Now we're getting a little dicey.
Yeah, it's getting a little out there, but it's creative. They wouldn't be expecting, I'll tell you that. But then you have Jokic doing that, and you just do a little role reversal because Jokic can dribble well enough and pass and all that. So I don't know. I think you have to get someone else in the middle, and I think you have to keep Jokic more in the short corner, 15-foot on the block area range. I think that opens up a lot of things.
When they get those man possessions, KCP and MPJ have to be the primary ball handler in ball screens, along with Jamal Murray.
100.
Period.
Yeah, I just think if you have Jokic on the block, they're going to be more inclined to double because you can't double in the middle. So if he's on the short side, if you double, that's one, a kick out shooter, and two, you can get any look you want. And especially if you drive toward the middle, like if you're posting up and you spin back toward the middle, if you're on the right block or do a post hook or something, then that help defender has to come no matter what. Like it'd be tough for them not to come. Like you'd have to be fighting your own mind for them not to come and help. Because if you're that close in the middle, someone's got to come, and that's what you kick out your one more corner three. There you go.
If they start off the game with that aggressiveness, I think then they'll risk it. I think Miami will risk it, but after game 2, they showed that they're good on the help as long as they're sparking on the offense. So I think that Denver has to make the best defensive plays to make sure that Miami isn't hitting as many threes consistently, to where if they can get a stop then and push it to the other end and allow Joker to get those early buckets in the paint without the help, because they don't want to help, because they said like if they're able to shoot consistently, they'll rather have Joker with those twos than being able to all right, oh, now we got to help on the Joker, and then now we got to, and then that's just an open three for Jamal Murray, and if they close out on Jamal, it's a swing to Aaron Gordon, and he showed that he can knock down a big shot. He hit a big shot in the game in game 2. Or you can swing to KCP, MPJ. You know what I'm saying? Like you have a perimeter threat, and I think that is what they want to prevent, especially because that is how Miami is able to score the ball so well is by perimeter shooting, and I think that,
which is kind of crazy to say considering the regular season numbers.
like, I think they just I don't even know what's wrong with them, but I think that Spo doesn't want a double Joker, but
I
if
don't think they should. I think
yeah.
the Miami's game plan
Nah,
is
you shouldn't
it's
double.
almost as good as it gets. But
You do exactly what you did last night until it doesn't work.
yeah.
Let's do a score prediction to wrap it up.
Yeah.
I want exact score.
If you want the spread exact score,
yeah.
All right, we'll do exact score, spread, over under. Make your picks.
Perfect.
But the game spread is Miami plus 2.5. So they're getting 2.5 at home. And the total is 214.5. Finn, let's go to you first. And then you can give an exact score.
Dude, I'm pounding the over. I think it's going to be a shootout. Miami shot well in game 2. Denver shot well in game 1.
It opened at 216.5 and it's down to 214. Generally, that means under. But the bet percentage is 50-50.
I like that a lot. What's the percent of people taking the over?
54.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So
you like the over still?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Didn't game 2 go over?
Yeah, by 1.5.
So,
or 2 points.
And then for the spread, I think Miami's going to win game 3 personally. So, I'll take them 2.5 all day.
Okay.
I mean, they have no business not winning. They'll probably lose game 4.
Slim?
I'll take the over. I think it's gonna be a dogfight, maybe even OT. Anytime I'm talking about Denver, I'm gonna talk about the altitude, bro. So I think that both teams heading down to South Beach, warmer weather, clear. I don't want to say clear air quality, but you're able to breathe.
It's clearer air in Denver, but it's harder to breathe.
Yeah.
Higher up.
Yeah, but you can breathe. You ain't got a headache. You're not cramping up. I think that both teams are gonna be on fire, and then I think that Mike Malone is gonna make the adjustment to at least try to get his perimeter guys in the flow and in that rhythm so that they can knock down consistent shots to keep up with Miami, because I feel like Jimmy Butler is gonna show up crazy for game 3, and I think that you're gonna get a battle between Jimmy Butler, Jamal Murray, Tyler Hero's supposed to be popping back up.
They shouldn't play him, just my opinion.
I don't know, bro, but I think with that being said, I'll take the over. Could be OT.
Do you think the Heat win or the Nuggets?
What do you think for the spread?
I think Heat may win this game. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna go. I originally liked the over, but as a bettor, you start to read the line a little bit.
Hey.
Sorry, but I'm gonna go under. And I'm also gonna take the Nuggets. I've been fade the Heat all year, all playoffs.
Kobe.
Huh? Kobe?
Is that your pooch?
Oh yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Nuggets minus 2.5 and the under, which I don't really like because I feel like if you take the under, you should the Heat should probably win. But
you're actually, all over.
You know what? Give me the Heat. Fuck that. Give me the Heat. Let's go Heat.
Oh.
And
this
then
stamp.
Huh?
This or that stamp.
Yeah. So if you want our take, bet the Heat. I don't really love the spread or the over under. I'd stick to props to be honest. But what's exact score prediction? I'll throw $2.50 on all. Actually, fuck it. I'll throw $5. I'm about to get paid. Exact score, dude. I was in game 6 of the Boston Miami series. I was 1 point away.
How about we do a little 111 to 109?
Great. So you have you picked the over. I was about to say 111 to 109, 2-point game.
Miami.
Okay. Slim.
Call me crazy.
Don't say
120
130.
124 to 119 or 121.
Jeez.
You guys have this
Like,
game.
I think it comes down to a thread.
All right. I'm going to go 107.99.
under train.
107.99. Maybe 101. I don't know. One of those two. I think it's like a 6-point game at the end of it, but maybe 5. But
Good show.
that's a wrap for this or that. 35 minutes, all things Heat, all things Nuggets. We're really, really excited to see how the rest of the series goes. I was rooting for the Heat yesterday just for more basketball because we want as much as we can get. I hope this goes 7. I can't see it going 7, but
It's going 7.
It's going business.
I think the Nuggets are going to win. I had Nuggets in 5 before the playoffs or before the series, but I still kind of weirdly like them. That's a wrap. Like, comment, subscribe. Game 3 is on Wednesday. Check out Wednesday night. We'll be back with a new video, and peace.